Hey, going everyone! Hope you all are doing well and welcome back to Shazmaths. Upon all of your requests, we have solved paper 4 as well. That is the IGCSE Maths 0580 paper 4-2, held recently in May-June 2024. But before we start off, those of you who are planning to appear in international GCSE exams October-November 2024 session, our registration for the online classes is now open again. The classes are starting soon, where we will cover the whole syllabus from scratch along with the topical past papers practice, yearly past papers practice, and we basically will prepare you for your A star in the next just 3 months. Classes are starting from 24th of June 2024. So visit our website www.shazmaths.com for any inquiries and for the registration process as well. Also, if you would want to avail the early bird discount, I would say right now is the best time to contact us and to avail the discount. And yeah, we'll take it on from there. One more thing, the exam that we have just solved, it's our take on the exam. It's not the official working, it's not the official solution, it's not the official mark scheme, nothing is out yet. We have just got the exam and we decided to give it a go. So we might have done any mistake, but if you think that that's the case, I would love to hear from you guys and your feedback in the comment section. Also, I would love to hear it from you guys that how well have you performed, your mistakes, any unexpected things that you thought it just appeared up in the exam. Yeah, make sure you comment and have a discussion in the comment section. Also, one last thing that is the most important of all, I would say, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your mates as well. Okay, so let's start off. Question number 1, part A. A fruit drink is made using 1.5 liters of apple juice and 450 milliliters of mango juice. Write the ratio apple juice to mango juice in its simplest form. So the first thing is I can see one is given in the liters whereas the other is given in milliliters. So what I've done is I've converted liters into milliliters. So 1.5 liters is equal to 1500 milliliters. Now because the units are same, and we can easily take the ratio. So 1500 ratio 450, we've simplified that out. It comes out to be 10:3. 1 liter of fruit drink is shared between 3 cups. The amount in the cups is in the ratio 9:6:10. Calculate the number of milliliters in each cup. So the total is given, that is 1 liter. He's asking us to find it in the milliliters. So what I've done is the total should add up to 1000 milliliters, right? 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. So I've added them up. I found out that one number by which they are simplified with, that is 40. And then I've just multiplied 40 with each of this quantity in the ratio to get the quantity in which the amount of cup is the amount of liquid is divided. So 9 times 40 is 360, 6 times 40 is 240, and 10 times 40 is 400. A shop buys bottles of the fruit drink for $3.20 each. It sells them at a profit of 15%. Calculate the selling price of each bottle of the fruit drink. So 15% is the profit and we have to calculate the selling price. Remember, for the percentages question, you always assume the original amount as 100%. That's what I did. And then the selling price should have been then 115%. That is X cross multiplied. Simplify that out. It comes out to be $3.68. The number of bottles of fruit drink sold has grown exponentially at a constant rate of 2.5% per year. 5 years ago, the shop sold this many bottles. Calculate the number of bottles sold this year. So it's growing exponentially. If you remember, there is one formula, that is the compound interest formula, which is basically the formula you can use whenever anything is increasing exponentially. So that concept I've used over here. So number of bottles sold this year equals to the initial amount of bottles times 1 plus rate to the whole power of t. And that would give me the total number of bottles sold this year. So that's just the compound interest formula, if you remember. but the same concept is being applied here, so that's why we applied that, and I got 18804 as the answer. You can also write it down as 18800 in 3 significant figures. Part E says it's of bounds. The bottles of juices are 18.5 centimeter tall. Correct to the nearest millimeter. So that means it is 0.1 centimeter, right? Because 1 centimeter equals to 10 millimeters. So if I divide it over here, 1 millimeter would be equals to 0.1 centimeter. So they are stored on shelves. The distance between the shelves is 23 centimeters, correct to the nearest centimeter. Okay. Calculate the lower bound for the distance d centimeter between the top of the bottle and the shelf above it. So basically this one, this d. Now we have to calculate the lower bound of it. I'll just make a formula. So d would be equals to this total length minus this one, right? So that means if I need the lower bound, I need the minimum possible distance of this and maximum possible distance of this. So that's why I would take lower bound of total distance and upper bound of bottle length. So the type of rounding for the total distance was nearest to up to 1 centimeter. So I've calculated the error from here, that is 0.5 centimeters, and from here I've calculated the error, that is 0.05 centimeters. So from here I calculated the lower bound for the total length and then the upper bound for the bottle length. So basically subtracted 0.5 centimeters from this reading. So 23 minus 0.5 is 22.5, and then adding 0.05 to this reading. So that comes out to be 18.55, and subtract those both, you're gonna get the distance, and that is the lower bound of the distance, that is 3.95 centimeters. Question number 2, where two parallel lines are there. The diagram shows a straight line intersecting two parallel lines. Find the value of A and the value of B. So I can see again it is two parallel lines, transversal is intersecting them. This whole angle on a straight line should be 180. Straight away take away 180 from 38 from 180, you'll get 142. And because A and B are alternate, we can see that it's a Z being formed. So A and B both are equal, so that's why that is 142 as well. Calculate the interior angle of a regular 12-sided polygon. So formula is each interior angle equals to 180 times n minus 2 whole over n. Just put in the value of n as 12. So you'll get 180 times 10 over 12, and then 150 is your final answer. In the part C, there is a circle. So that the diagram shows a circle with center O. The points M, N and P lie on the circumference of the circle. I can see that over here. A and B is a tangent to the circle at M. Yep, we can see that. Find the value of F and the value of G. So we have to find this value and this value. So I can see for F, have a look at this chord. So this angle in between chord and tangent is 56. That means all the angles that the same chord makes at the circumference would be 56 as well, because of the alternate segment theorem. So that's what I have done over here. Since I know this is 56, I can easily find out this one as well. In fact, there is no need to find out this one. Like you can use that approach as well, but have a look. This is a radius making the angle with the tangent. So this whole is 90. If I take away this 56 from 90, I'm gonna be getting this angle. And because this is the isosceles triangle, I can straight away find out this G. All right. So 90 minus 56, that angle is equivalent to G, that is 34. Part D, the diagram shows a cyclic quadrilateral. Find the value of K. So we have to find out this value of K. If you remember, for a cyclic quadrilateral, the sum of opposite angles is 180. So this one and this one should sum up to 180. It's a triangle. We can find out easily this angle. 180 minus 27 minus 24, it will give me 129, and then take away 129 from 180, so that would be 51. Question number 3. The table shows the time that each of 40 students takes to travel to school. Now there's a table given. What I've noticed is that the lower class boundaries and the upper class boundaries, the upper class boundary of one class is equal to the lower class boundary of the next class. Calculate the estimate of the mean. For mean, the formula is summation fx over summation f. Normally, the data over here is in terms of minutes, so that's why I've written summation fm over summation f. I'll make the column of fm. I've just written it down as x, which is fine as well. Anyway, so x or the data should be the middle value because there is a range of data given, right? So that's why 0 to 10. So 0 plus 10 divided by 2, it's 5. I've written down all the middle values, and then I've calculated summation fx. So first I've made a row containing frequency times the data. So 3 times 5 is 15, 18 times 17 and a half, and so on. Then I added all of them up, divided by total frequency, and it came out to be 25.4375. Part 2, on the grid, draw a histogram to show the information in the table. So because it's unequal class width, have a look here. The class width is 10 here, 15 here, 15 again, 20. So unequal class width, that means that on the y-axis there should be frequency density, on the x there should be time in minutes. So I've calculated the frequency density for each of the class by using the formula frequency density equals to frequency over class width. So for each of the class, I've calculated it. For the first one, as you can see, 3 over 10 would be 0.3. So that means from 0 to 10, it should be 0.3. Have a look here. That's what I've drawn, right? And then for each of them, I've drawn the histogram. 2 students are selected at random from 40 students. Calculate the probability that one student takes more than 25 minutes and the other student takes 18 minutes or less to travel to school. Okay, so one who is taking more than 25, have a look here. More than 25 are 15 plus 4, that is 19 students. And then the one who takes less than 10 minutes are 3 students. Okay, so there are 2 cases. That the first one is the one who takes more than 25 and the second one is who takes less than 10 minutes or so, right? So that's why 19 over 40 for the first one times the second one is 3 over 39. The sample space has decreased by 1 because we have already taken out one student. And then because of the position, we can first take out the one who is taking more than 25 minutes and then the other one. Second case is we take the other one first and then this one, right? So that's why I've multiplied it by 2. Solving it out, the final answer comes out to be 19 over 260. Part B. This is some information about the time that 200 people took to fill in a questionnaire. So the longest time is given, the median time is given, the lower quartile is given, the interquartile is given, the range is given. Write down the shortest time taken. So the range of data equals to the maximum minus minimum. From there, I've calculated out the minimum time, that is 5. Because see, range was 25, maximum was 30. On the grid, draw a box and whisker plot to show this information. So that's a 5-point summary. It should be starting from the minimum one and the maximum one. So these 3 lines are lower quartile, median and upper quartile, right? So that's where the box lies, and then whiskers are joined from the lower and upper one. That's what I've done. The upper quartile was missing, I think. Lower quartile. Yeah, so we first calculated the upper quartile as well. That comes out to be 27. So once we found that out, we just plotted it. That's it. Median was given, lower quartile was given, everything else was given. Okay. So how did we find, by the way, the upper quartile? So upper quartile is equals to, the interquartile is equals to upper quartile minus lower quartile. So you can make it subject, interquartile plus lower quartile is equals to upper quartile. Anyway, it says, George says that 101 of the 200 people took more than 22 minutes to fill in the questionnaire. Explain why he's so wrong. So have a look here, median lies here. Now we can clearly see that this number of people are more than this number of people, right? What he's concluding is that 22, that is over here. So he's saying that these people who took more than 22 minutes, sorry, it's over here, who took more than this are 101, which cannot be the case. So that's what I've explained that over here, that the area, this area is greater than this area. So that's why he's wrong. Okay, where were we? Question number 4. The diagram shows a tank in the shape of a half cylinder of radius 12 centimeters and length 1 meter. The tank is fixed horizontally and is completely filled with water. Okay. Calculate the volume of water in the tank. Give your answer correct to the nearest 10 centimeter cube. So it's kind of a prism, we can see that. So the volume of prism is base area times height. Now we need to find out the area for this one. And it says in the shape of half cylinder with the radius is given, right? So that's why it is a semicircle, because in a cylinder it's a complete circle and then that's extruded, or that's basically extended, right? So if we have halved it, that's why it says half cylinder. So area of semicircle is pi r square by 2, radius is 12, so pi r square by 2, and then times the length it is extended. Make sure the units are same. 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. That's what I put in here. Solved it out. So the final answer is 22620 centimeter cube. Now this one was a bit tricky one. It says water is removed from the tank until the level of water is 6 centimeter below the top of the tank. Okay, so we kept on pouring out the water until it is at this level. The diagram shows the cross section of the tank. Calculate the volume of the water that is now in the tank. So basically this is just the water level that was only in the diagram. The rest of the diagrams, that the drawings, the red lines and the pink and everything, that's what I made myself to find out the working. Okay, so what I've done is, see, this is the center point. So radius is 12 centimeter. That means up till circumference, any straight line is 12 centimeter. We know that, right? So what I've done is I've connected it with the endpoints where the water levels are. And because it's a property of a circle that this needs to be 90 degrees, because see, whenever we draw a straight line that is perpendicular to the chord, it bisects the chord. So if this is bisecting it, it has to be 90 degree. Okay. From here, I got to know this is 6, this is 12. I first calculated this angle, that is 60 degrees. Okay, so because hypotenuse is known, the adjacent is known. So the hypotenuse is known, adjacent is known. I found out this angle, that is cos of x equals to 6 over 12. It came out to be 60 degrees. From here, I can easily find out this angle. That is, again, I can see it's a horizontal surface. So 90 minus 60, this should be equals to 30 degrees. That's what I did. Okay. Now, what I need to do is, I need to find out the area of shaded region, right? Or I can find out the area of unshaded region. And then I do know the area of this hole. From there I'll subtract both of them and then I'll get the area of shaded region. So for that one, how I have calculated the area of unshaded region, it's equals to 2 times area of sector A. So have a look, this sector, because it's being formed by 2 radius and 1 arc length, and similar over here as well, they are identical. So that's why 2 times these areas will give me this thing, and then the area of triangle. Okay, so that's what I've done. I know the angle of a sector is 30 degrees, so x over 360 times pi r square times 2 plus, for this triangle I can use any formula. What I've done is I've used 1 by 2 AB sine C. Okay, so I could have used 1 by 2 times 12 times 12 times sine of this whole angle, but I've just split it up into this triangle. Both the approaches are fine. So 2 times 12 times 6 times this is 60, so sine of 60. That's what I've done. See, 1 by 2, 6 times 12 times sine of 60, and then times it by 2. Solving it out, it came out to be 137.752 centimeter squares. Again, I've just to let you guys know, I've solved this whole again on my mobile phone. Didn't use the calculator at all. So I mean on the calculator that was on my mobile phone. So with the calculations, I'm not too confident about it. I think they are right. You can just cross check them. Let me know if I made any errors. So area of shaded region, I subtracted the area of semicircle and the unshaded area. I got 88.44267, and then the volume of water would be, because I got this shaded area already, it's a prism, so I multiplied it by 100, and that's about it. That would give me the volume of the water in the tank. So that is 8844.267 centimeter cube. And I've just rounded it off, correct to nearest 3 significant figures. So that was a tricky one, and I'm pretty sure many of you guys would have made the mistake in here. Anyway, part B says a rectangular fish tank was with the length 42 centimeters, width this much, is full of water. A stone lies at the bottom of the tank. When the stone is removed from the tank, the depth of the water is decreased by 0.2 centimeters. Okay, important information. Density of the stone is 2.2 grams per centimeter cube. Calculate the mass of the stone in the grams. Now, important thing to understand is that total tank volume is equal to the volume of the stone plus the volume of the water, right? Because the stone lies inside here. So there is some increase in level of the water because of the stone, and then the rest of it is water. So that's why this is the important point. From here, I've calculated the volume of the stone, because examiner has clearly told us that when we remove the stone, the water level decreased by 0.2 centimeters. That means that 0.2 centimeter difference in the water level was because of the stone. So that's what I've done. Volume of the stone is 42 times 35 times 0.2 centimeters, and that would be 294 centimeter cube. Because I do have it now, density equals to mass over volume. I do know the density, that is in grams per centimeter cube. I do know the volume. From there, I'll multiply it with this one, and I'm gonna get mass in grams. Okay, and then in 3 significant figures, it's gonna be 647 grams. Part C, which is again, that was an interesting one. I made the recent video as well where I told you guys that this is basically what I predicted, and there were heaps of other questions as well. I already notified all of the people who were in my classes that okay, this is something that will be there in tomorrow's exam. So let's discuss it now. It says a cuboid, calculate the angle AG. So it's a front left corner, and then that's rear right corner, right? We have to calculate the angle AG makes with the base of the cuboid. Now whenever it's this scenario, we have to assume that because it's a angle in between a line and a plane, right? So it can be any angle. What exact angle would it be? How would we know if it's this angle, which one is it be? So for that one, we have to assume that there is a light source on the top, so that the shadow of this line is formed on the plane the examiner is talking about. Okay, so that's the basic concept. So if we put a light source from the top, the shadow of this point is gonna be still here, but the shadow of this G point will be formed on the point C. So you connect those points. Now these are the two lines basically in between which you have to find out the angle. So that's what I've marked. We have to find out this angle X. For that one, I need the base. So I know it's a cuboid. This angle is 19 between these two sides because they are rectangles. So using Pythagoras, it is this AC square equals to 8 square plus 12 square. I got AC. Once I have that one, I know this angle is 90. I have base, I have perpendicular, I've used tan. So tan of X equals to perpendicular over adjacent, and I got this angle as 46.1 degrees. Question number 5, we just have to simplify. I just use the indices. So 25 is 5 square, x power 6 is x power 3 whole square, right? And then yeah, simplified it. It comes out to be 5x cube whole cube, and that is 125 x to the power of 9. So there are 5 terms. We have to find the nth term of the sequence, sorry. So what does that mean? That means we have to find out what's happening first. So I can see we are multiplying by 6 by 6 by 6, and that's what's happening. So it's a geometric progression. For a geometric progression, we have to find the common ratio r, and it is any term divided by previous term. So let's take these two. So r would be 6 by 1, that is 6. Once I do have the common ratio, the nth term is always a r to the power n minus 1, where a is the first term. The first term is 1 by 6, that means 1 by 6 times r, that is 6 to the power n minus 1. I just used a bit of laws of indices, and the final answer is 6 power n over 36. Expand and simplify. So there are 3 expressions being multiplied to one another. The best way to approach this one is you multiply the first expression with the second one, and then simplify it, and then multiply the resultant of that with the third one. So x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 12, that's what I got, times 3x minus 1. Just simplified that, and then multiplied all of these 3 terms with these ones. Final answer came out to be this one. Okay, make sure you cross check that. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through in detail about that, but yeah, that's the answer. You can pause it, have a look at the working. If it's wrong, let me know. Alrighty, we have to solve the equation. We have to show that this simplifies to this one. So I've taken the LCM first. I have to multiply the denominator by x minus 2, so I have to multiply the numerator by x minus 2 as well. Okay, so once that is done, so 1 second. Anyway, so once that is done, I cross multiplied the x minus 2, that is 3x plus 5 times x minus 2 plus 7, and then x minus 2 is multiplied on the other side. It became x squared minus 2x. So yeah, I just simplified that, expanded it, arranged the like terms, and then it comes out to be the equation that was mentioned above. Okay, so we have to solve by factorization. It specifically mentions that, so if you're using quadratic formula, you lose the marks. So multiply the third term with the first term. It came out to be negative 6x squared. So factors of negative 6x squared such that we subtract them in order to get plus 1. So 3 and 2 took out common in first 2 terms and the next 2 terms. So eventually the final answers were x equals to negative 3 by 2 and positive 1. A solid cylinder has base radius x and height 3x. So I've just made the cylinder. Again, it's mensuration. So yeah, there were too many questions containing mensuration, which is interesting. Okay, the total surface area of the cylinder is the same as the total surface area of the solid hemisphere of radius y. We have to show this. So this is the starting information that would help me. Anyway, I've made the cylinder as well. So total surface area of cylinder is, it's a solid cylinder, so 2 pi r square plus the curved surface area, that is 2 pi r h. Okay, yeah, so that's what I've done. So 2 pi x square plus 2 pi r is x, and then h is 3x. Simplify that out, you'll get this side, and then the total surface area of solid hemisphere is 2 pi r squared, that is the curved surface area, and then it's a solid hemisphere, so that's circle over here, plus pi r squared, that means 3 pi r squared. Radius is 5, so I've plugged that in here. Cancel out all the pi's. I've done that in the next step in this one. Simplify that, you're gonna get the same thing as what he asked you for. Question number 6. ABCD is a quadrilateral with AB equals to 10.4 and AD is 6.5 centimeters. Angle DAB is 64 degrees. Okay. Angle BDC is 26 degrees. Angle DBC is 42 degrees. Show that BD is 9.55 centimeters. So we have to show this BD. Okay. Now let's have a look what information is given. So 2 sides is given, 1 angle is known. We have to find out the third one. Straight away cos rule. To apply cos rule, a square equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos of a. Simplify that out, you're gonna get the same thing. We have to show that BCD is 112, so BCD, it's just simple triangle, should be summing up to 180. You can get straight away, it's 112. Calculate CD. So this CD over here, we have to find this one. We already know BD. Have a look, it's of 3 marks. We know two angles. We basically know the third one as well, but anyway, two angles. One side is known, we have to find out the other side. So 2 sides, 2 angle is involved. Straight away use the sine rule to find out that side CD. Okay, so yeah, find the shortest distance from D to AB. So D to AB, shortest distance is always the perpendicular distance. Now many of the students always make the mistake, they say they are equal. That's wrong, they are not equal because it's not an isosceles triangle, right? So this is the distance that we have to find out. For that one, I know this information. Over here on this side, I know this angle as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use, I know the hypotenuse, I need the perpendicular, so I have used sine. Once I have these trigonometric ratio, so it's sine of 64 equals to y over 6.5, and I got to know the dimension, that is 5.84. So that question was pretty straightforward. I think majority of you would have scored in that question. Anyway, simple equation, linear equation, just arrange the like terms. Take 4 on the other side, it's gonna be 7x equals to 14 and then x equals to 2. Fully factorize, so you take out the common term, that is 5a, and then you're left with 2a plus 1 inside, and that's it. For this one again, it's a square minus 3 square b square, right? So it's a plus b and a minus b. I simplified out this out. Again, in the terms inside the bracket, there was another thing common, so I took that as common. Ultimately got this as answer, 4x times x minus 3. And the part D, so we have its functions, so we have to find f of 4. I just replaced x by 4, so it's going to be 1 over 15. Similarly, g of 2, so g of 2. First I calculated g of 2, that would be 1 over 7. Hold on. Sorry, my bad. It's f of x. I was confused what I've done. Anyway, it's this thing. So g of 2 is 3 square, that is 9. And then g of 9, basically that's what we have to find out. So 3 to the power 9, that's the final answer. Find k when g of k equals to f of 7. So we need g of k would be 3 to the power k. F of 7 would be 1 over 27. That can be written as 1 over 3 square. And if I write this one, take this 3 in the numerator, it's gonna be 3 to the power minus 3, right? Bases are same, I can equate the powers, so x equals to, or k equals to minus 3. Question number 8. A baker decorates x small cakes and y large cakes. Not more than, okay, in one day he decorates not more than 16 small cakes, less than 10 large cakes, more small cakes than large cakes, and a total of not more than 24 cakes. So I've just written down the information and I have expressed that information mathematically. So if it says he decorates not more than 16 small cakes, that means x for the small cakes, it needs to be less than 16. Okay, it says not more than, so that means 16 would be included as well. So x is less than equal to 16. Less than 10 large cakes, clearly says less than, not at most or something. That's why y is less than 10. More small cakes than large cakes. So that means if I subtract them both, it should be greater than 0. So either I can use that information, or I can say x, that is a small cake, they should be greater than y. A total of not more than 24 cakes. So if I add both of them, it is at most 24. So x plus y is less than equal to 24. I got these inequalities, just represented them here then. Okay. Anyway, After that, it says on the grid, draw 4 straight lines and shade the unwanted regions to show these inequalities. Label the region R which satisfies the 4 inequalities. So y equals to 10, it's this line, but I made that dotted. I did not had embedded software, by the way, so that's why I just made the solid and then erased it just to show that it should be dotted because it's less than, right? X equals to y, it's a straight line passing through origin. Again, it's the inequality is that y is less than x. That means the unwanted region would be on the top of that line. Similarly, y is less than 10, so the unwanted region would be from on the top of that one. Okay, and then the last one, always remember, I normally prefer to have a look at the inequality with respect to y. Okay, so if it's y is less than equal to 24 minus x, that means we need the region. So this is y is less than 24 minus x, that is the line. So for this line, we need the region below that. That means all of the top ones would be shaded. And then the last one was x is less than equal to 16. So we have made this line. We need this region, so that's why this is shaded. Anyway, final answer is this region R. That is the wanted region. We have shaded all the unwanted. It says the baker earns $8 for decorating a small cake and $12 for decorating a large cake. Use your diagram to find the largest amount the baker can earn in one day by decorating the cakes. So the cakes, they needs to be a whole number, right? So I need to find out which exact point, that is the whole number, will satisfy this region. So it was this one. Okay, the one I marked on because that was a solid line. The above one was a dotted line. That's why it can't be on that line. It was a solid line. I need to find something that is on the extreme right and extreme top in this region basically. So that is the best point. Okay, you can cross check the other ones as well, but this one should be the best point. So the coordinates of that are this point is 15 and 9. So 15 small cakes, 9 large cakes. I just multiplied them by their cost and added them up, and I got it that the answer should be $228. Let's go ahead. Question number 9. Again, it's kind of mensuration because yeah, that's the area of sector. Anyway, we know the OAB is a sector of circle with center O. We can see that. OCD is a sector of circle with center O, radius 10. We can see that. OCA and ODB are straight lines. OCA, ODB, straight lines. Angle OAB is 60 degrees. Perimeter of the shaded region, shaded shape ABCD can be written in the form of this. We basically have to calculate the perimeter of this, which we can see it's going to be this plus 2 arcs. So this arc would be 60 over 360 times 2 pi r. Simplified it. This is the thing. AB, it's 60 over 360 times 2 pi r is 17. Simplified it. And then the perimeter would be 7 plus first answer plus second answer. Okay. You simplify that out. It's going to be 14 pi plus 9 pi. And if you compare, the term with the pi is a and I have 9. So a is 9 and then b is 14. Part B, again mensuration. Whoa. The diagram shows a regular hexagon. Area of the hexagon is 127.3 centimeter squares. Show that the length of one side of the hexagon is 7 centimeters. Correct to nearest one decimal place. So that one was a bit tricky one as well. Now see, each interior angle of the hexagon is 180 times n minus 2. That is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4, and then over 6. Right? So I calculated it, and that is 120. So if you see the drawing, let me zoom it in for you so that it makes a bit more sense. Here you go. So I know the each interior angle, that is 120 degrees, the whole angle, right? So this whole angle, how is that formed? See, because it's a regular hexagon, I've just divided it in the triangle and then split it up in form of trapeziums as well. Okay, now because the straight line should be 90, this angle should be 19 between a horizontal and a vertical line. um, this whole is 120, so this is 30 degrees. Okay, so that's what I've written. So because this is 30 degrees, I've expressed this vertical length in terms of x. All right, which basically what we have to find out. So y, the vertical length, is equals to x times cos of 30. You can just consider this triangle over here. It's a 90-degree triangle with this angle 30. All right, so I have expressed the adjacent and hypotenuse. I related them to, they are related by cos. I got that vertical length is root 3 x by 2. So the area was given. How would we find the area? Area is basically sum of these two trapeziums. So 1 by 2 times height, that is root 3 x by 2, what we just found out, times sum of parallel sides. So if this is x, this is x, right? So this parallel side, how much would it be? If I divide it up, you can see it's going to be this plus x. So these two ones should be x sine 30. Consider the same triangle, you'll get to know that. So x sine 30 is basically 1 by 2x. 1 by 2x, if I add them both, it's gonna be 1x plus 1x. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, so sum of parallel side is, have a look here, one side is x, this one, the other side is 1 by 2x plus 1 by 2x plus x. So you add all of them together, it's going to be 3x. Okay, and then because there are two of the trapeziums, I multiplied it by 2. Anyway, simplifying that out, it comes out to be this, that is almost 7 centimeter. I'm gonna zoom out again. Okay, the hexagon is the cross section of a prism of length 10 centimeters. Alrighty. Find the volume of the prism. We have calculated the area, just multiply it by 10, you'll get the volume. Calculate the surface area of the prism, sorry. So what would be the surface area? You calculate the perimeter, you know the x, easily I can just multiply it by 6 sides. So perimeter of the base times the height would give me the area of all these rectangles, and then plus 2 times the base area. So final answer comes out to be 675 centimeters square. Question number 10, A and B are the points. We need to find the midpoint. So 6 plus 3 divided by 2 should be 4.5, 9 by 2. 2 minus 4, that is minus 2 by 2 is minus 1. Calculate the length AB, straightforward. X2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, and take the root of it. It should be 6.71. Make the correction. I've written it down 6.70, but yeah, it should be 6.71. Anyway, the equation of line L is this. Find the gradient of L. Make y the subject. It's going to be 3y equals to minus 4x minus 12. Divide it over here. You'll get to know the gradient is minus 4 by 3. Coordinates of point where the L crosses the y-axis. So L crosses y-axis, that means x coordinate should be 0. Substitute that in this line. It's going to be 3y equals to 12 and x equals to 4, y equals to 4. So the coordinates are 0 and 4. Line P is perpendicular to L and passes through 6, 5. Find the equation of P in the form of this thing. So for the equation of straight line, we need the gradient. If that is perpendicular to L and the gradient of the other line was minus 4 by 3, so P would be, we'll flip it and change the sign. So that's why it's 3 by 4. Okay. And then I've just used the formula y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. That is the formula to use the equation of straight line. We know the coordinates of the point. Substitute them in here. Simplify that out. Final equation should be y equals to 3 by 4x plus 1 by 2. Question number 11. The point minus 1, 6 lies on the curve. This curve has derived function. So the gradient is given. dy by dx is given. Show that minus 1, 6 is a stationary point on the curve. So stationary point means the derivative should be 0. So I'm going to put this point in here. So the derivative should come out to be 0. That's what I did, and the derivative was 0, hence it is proved that that is a stationary point. A different curve has equation this. Calculate the gradient of curve at this point. So derivative dy by dx should be equals to 6x square minus 6, and then we have to calculate the gradient at this point. Substitute that in here in the gradient, in the derivative, you'll get to know the gradient, and that is 18. X coordinates of the stationary point of this curve. So derivative is this thing. I'm gonna put that equal to 0 because it's stationary point. I know the gradient of stationary point is 0. So 6x square minus 6 equals to 0. Factorize that, you'll get this thing, and x coordinates will be -1 and +1 straight away. And that's about it. So that's the whole exam, what we just solved out for you. I hope that helps. Leave it in the comment section. How well have you performed? What do you guys think of the exam? As per my thoughts, the mensuration questions were a bit too much. Few of the questions were tricky. Those were the area, like the mensuration question ones. Other than that, there were a few that were pretty straightforward. Let us know how well have you performed. What do you think? How much are you gonna score? And then based on the paper 2 and paper 4, what do you think what your guys' total would be? Would you be falling in the A star range or A range? What do you guys think? Obviously the thresholds are not out yet, but you would have the idea that out of 200 marks we gotta score this or that much. Leave it with us, let us know, and we might be able to give you the idea that okay, the grade threshold for this paper would be this much. All right, make sure to subscribe us, give us a like please, share it with your friends, and if you're planning to reappear based on your performance, register for the October-November 2024 session now, okay, because the discounts are applicable at the moment. We are not sure if we'll be able to continue that offer, but make sure contact us now. See you soon.